couple months, something like that. We're starting now.
All right, away we go. So our two participants here are Malcolm. He's currently number one. He and Dice have traded the record back and forth over the last few years, but Malcolm's had a pretty solid hold on it for probably the last year and a half. And Fred, who is rapidly rising through the ranks, currently in third, but he's been improving really rapidly. The very first thing that you saw them do is immediately get rid of the lance. So there are 8 possible weapons in Super Ghouls and Ghosts. The first chest has a possibility to drop 3 weapons. The dagger, which is the one that they want to see. The torch, which is also really good, but very difficult to use. Or the crossbow, which is what they have here. All 3 of those options are better than the lance.
Yeah, those are like the good weapons. So we saw Malcolm take a hit here in stage 1, and that's actually gonna make a bit of a difference since he has the bow, and if he can't upgrade that bow again, he's definitely gonna be losing a chunk of time here.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he's definitely gonna have to get that upgrade back.
Yeah, it's
regular bow on
the
regular bow on the boss is really bad. Oh boy. And we got a loose arrow on Fred's side. All right.
Yeah, so each of these weapons gets upgraded when you collect the bronze armor, which is the green one. And it's the same upgraded weapon when you have gold armor as well.
Oh my goodness.
Malcolm having a pretty tough go here through the pumpkin patch. So the upgraded weapon is obviously stronger, and many of these weapons it has an additional property or is a completely different flight trajectory, like the axe. The upgraded crossbow, as we kind of saw on Fred's screen, tries to home in on enemies, but it's not terribly effective at that, so it often just gets stuck circling around a target.
Yeah, so now we're going to see Malcolm plug away at this boss for quite a while here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the normal bow fires only 2 bolts, and the upgraded bow fires 3. And I think the upgraded bow is also 50% or double the strength. I think it's 3 damage per bolt for the normal and 6 for the upgraded. So it's a pretty big loss of firepower.
Then, yeah, so Fred picks up the dagger in the beginning of the stage, so he's good to go for the dagger, but Malcolm's going to be looking as well. These players need the dagger by the end of the stage.
Yeah, there's really no substitute here. So the contents of the chests in this game, the chests are really interesting. The contents depend on the number of chests that you've spawned on that life on that stage, and what armor you currently have equipped. So the second chest, the chest that we saw Malcolm get the upgrade, and the chest that we saw Fred get the dagger. The second chest, if you have the bronze armor, is guaranteed to give you a weapon. So they try for 1 weapon drop there if they don't have the dagger. And if they don't get it there, then they're going to be just trying to get the dagger out of like one of these baskets from a surprise weapon drop.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a pretty interesting situation here. So Fred's going to be doing the standard strat for stage 2. He has a dagger already, and stage 2 has a damage boost routed in, which is something that you wouldn't really expect in the Ghosts and Goblins series, or at least in Super Ghouls and Ghosts when you have so many upgrades, and you lose all of them when you're hit. That's one of the trademarks of this series. But the damage boost lets you get up to the higher level in the second or third ship. So it skips having to climb the ladder, and it's much faster. And then you can just recollect all of the armors during the auto-scroller here. Malcolm already has gold armor, which is pretty good. They want gold armor by the end of the stage. They want gold armor with no shields, and they want dagger by the time they finish this stage. There it is. Okay.
Good.
So Malcolm is all caught up. He's just going to probably do something to destroy his shield at some point in this stage. The shield causes lag. The basic shield, Sun Shield, will absorb 1 projectile before it breaks. Or rather, it'll break when it's hit by 1 projectile, but you won't lose your armor. This is going to be a tough jump. Nice. You can upgrade the shield to Moon Shield, and that'll absorb 3 projectiles and then break. But the main reason that you have a shield in this is that your magic charge is quicker. So when you upgrade from steel armor to bronze armor, your weapon itself gets stronger, and then when you upgrade from that to gold armor, you get the capacity to use magic. But the shield causes lag. The shield itself is laggy. So we'll see if they try and destroy it or if they just deal with the lag in this situation.
Yeah, a little bit. You just kind of have some lag reduction strats in this stage where you just kill the stuff on the right side of the screen as soon as possible, so nothing kind of fills up too much. Otherwise, you get a tiny bit of slowdown. And then if they still have the shield at the end of this stage, they definitely lose it against one of the flames in the next stage, because that's going to make a difference with all the bats spawning on the towers. That's a pretty noticeable difference, I think, not having the shield.
Yeah, absolutely.
There, so
yeah, they can either try and break it from the flames or from even one of the yellow devils, I think. It's really interesting to see, because Stage 3 is really dynamic, so it's different every time you play it. You have to make some decisions on what's safest, what's the best option. Alright, so Fred's moving up to whatever this boss is.
Yes, Storm Cesarus, I think, is the name.
Wow, this guy knowing the actual proper names.
Some people call him Barnacle Bob. That's also acceptable. Alright, so Fred nails a quick kill there. In the Super Ghouls and Ghosts, you do have 2 attack buttons, and this is what allows Fred to hold an attack button and then use the other one to charge the magic. Or one to charge the magic, and then another one to get daggers while he's charging, holding the other button. Allows this quick kill on this boss. Malcolm's going to do the same thing here. That's the first instance of the cheeky double attack button strats. Okay, so Fred's going through.
Yep, Fred lost his shield, so he's exactly on track here. Stage 3 is really scary because these tiny yellow devils are pretty unpredictable with when they can swoop. They can really jam you if you're not prepared for them.
Yeah, see the players kind of go out of their way to kill them here, but in PB attempts for both of these guys, they might skip a couple of them and just be at the mercy of the RNG. It's one of the roughest parts of RNG when you're really bullying down the game, but there's a lot of safeties you can take in these races as well, and that's really what this is going to be about, is how can these guys recover from any mistakes they make, and how are they going to judge, going for some strat that saves 2 seconds versus getting hit, which is going to be a 30-second time loss or something like that.
Right, yeah. Mistakes in this game are
situation.
incredibly punishing.
Fred onto the towers.
Yeah, so one of the reasons that Dagger is just irreplaceable in this speedrun is you can have 3 of them on screen, it travels really quickly, and it travels the full length of the screen, and it does a lot of damage. It does 7 damage, and the strongest weapon in the game does 9. So, it's really not that much weaker, and you can throw 2 of them, 2 or 3 of them, to compensate for the lower damage. So it's really good at killing enemies immediately as they spawn or before they become a threat, which is good for safety, and it's really good for lag reduction too.
Yeah, very, very reliable weapon outside of the fact that it shoots at slightly different locations when you're spamming it, which can sometimes mean a bat getting under or over or something like that. But kind of see these guys, they're probably not going to want to commit to too many double jumps and stuff here because the bat spawns, and got Fred under the goblins, kind of randomly spawning down on. And that's the nice thing about the dagger too, kind of lingers right when it comes out of Arthur, so these guys can kind of use that property to block the goblins as they fall down. So pretty nice there.
Yeah. This is my favorite quick kill in the game. Fred is doing my tried and true setup, the 100% setup, as opposed to the jump setup. So that boss, I don't know what his name is, but his boss theme is called the Mongolian Deathworm's third cousin. So that's what I think of for him. It's pretty elaborate.
The official name.
Yeah.
Or is that just someone naming the SPC files or something? Kind of happened.
Oh, nice. Malcolm chose the optimal strat there. Yeah. So what happens is that the Deathworm will spawn centered around Arthur. So if you jump to the side or you take the higher platform, you can force him to spawn higher in the air. And then if you release the dragon magic at the right time, it kind of follows the dragon around, or follows the worm around. And that spell does damage every single frame. So you can kill the Deathworm in just one magic cast. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's nice. That strat's definitely saving, I think, like 1 to 2 seconds, I think, at least.
Yeah.
And then that's just muscle memory for Malcolm, so he just goes for that. It is kind of risky to do that setup, I think. Ooh, Malcolm just avoiding that genie. Very nice.
Yeah. This stage 4 is honestly a pretty tame stage. I used to think this was like the breather stage between 3 and 5 because those are nightmares. But you definitely can get jammed with some of the delayed spawns from the fire towers. They'll sometimes stagger their fireballs in a really problematic way, and the genies, as you call them, the axe armors.
Yeah.
They can give you some pretty rough spawns too. Some spawns and some trajectories that are tough to get around.
Well, they're both okay, and sticking with gold armor here. And since this is the auto scroller, don't expect anything weird or funny to happen here. This is just dialed down stage here, or dialed in stage until Hydra.
Yeah, the Hydra is the Hydra's a pretty interesting boss. It has 3 weak points, 3 heads that you have to destroy, and the heads all move independently and randomly. What you want them to do is group up, because then obviously your dagger, which pierces, will hit all of them. And an additional fun property is that when these heads overlap and you have a piercing weapon, it alternates damage every frame. So you get an additional boosted damage. You can actually kill this Hydra with a single upgraded axe throw if you get the heads aligned properly. But,
oh, interesting. So that's why they go down real quick sometimes. Okay, I wasn't never sure about that.
Yep, those cool. Top 2 heads were overlapping for Fred, so they died pretty much instantly. But I think the heads only have, I don't know, maybe 70 health, so they only die in a few dagger throws.
Okay,
Malcome
nice.
With another pretty clean kill.
Yeah, we're probably going to see maybe Malcolm catch up on this upcoming stage here, because he's very confident on this, and the icicle section and the flowers, I don't know, it's just a lot of rough stuff. Let's see here.
Yeah, so you see Fred doing like a neutral jump in front of the flower to make sure that it dies, and Malcolm tends to jump forward through the flowers. So he picks up a tiny bit of time there, but again, there's the risk that you're just going to be killed. You're not gonna hit the flower, because it has a pretty misleading hitbox and it wobbles, and it needs several shots to die.
Yeah, so they're in the icicle section here, where the icicles have little segments, and each segment doesn't become an active hitbox against Arthur until like a second or something after it spawns. So you see these guys just run through the tips of the icicles, and it's just, if you're casual, it just looks like what the hell is going on there. You're just walking through it, but that is a mechanic of the section that these guys need to know about. Really slick when you can go through there.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just really slick when you just go over through there smoothly.
Yeah. Yeah, and you want to get through the icicle cavern quickly too, because you'll skip waves of the shield attackers. All right, some avalanche skips here. The avalanche, if it hits you, will push you down the mountain, and in most cases, it'll just kill you. But at the very least, it'll take away your armor. It'll push you into the spikes, but the avalanche won't push you if you're in the air, so they can time their jumps properly. The avalanche triggers are pretty
set.
Standard.
Yeah, pretty set. Okay, Malcolm had a very nice kill. I think Malcolm definitely gained on Fred in that stage. And so we're getting closer here.
Because this is a really clever strat. The Aramers,
oh boy.
He's just going to let him live, huh? This is going to be interesting. We'll see what Malcolm does. Yeah, he's got it. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen people leave behind that armor, and it's okay.
No.
Oh my goodness. It was the right armor too. So yeah, Fred didn't bother to use magic on any of those armors, and neither did Malcolm. Fred dies.
Yeah, that's rough.
So now Fred is going to take a D-boost from one of these like axe armor genie guys, and he's going to have to build up his armor back in the following stage, and then lose probably something like 20 seconds recovering. So yeah, that's a noticeable time loss that Fred's going to experience here.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. So what they were trying at the at the beginning of stage 6, that previous stage, is to group the first two Aramers together and kill both of them with one magic cast. But the first one got a little bit away from Fred, so the dragon didn't kill him.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate.
And things got a little bit out of control there.
But this is kind of what I was saying, like, you know, that just saving the extra magic cast, you know, that's only a 2-second time save, but these guys kind of got to think about doing that in these finals, and then you have the repercussions of a mistake.
Yeah.
And then these
and malcome again, like,
deal with it.
He had a similar dilemma right there with that Aramer at the top, and he tried to kill him magicless just with dagger. But the Aramer got away, and he ended up having to use magic anyways. So that's the kind of risk-reward stuff that you deal with when you run this game. If you kill them without magic, you pick up those 2 seconds, but if they get away, then you end up losing 5 to 10.
Or resetting your PB attempt.
Right, yeah.
Or just being sad that it's not going to PB. Alright, Malcolm with the... Oh, misses his second magic.
Still
but,
okay. Alright.
Yep, so... Astaroth doesn't become vulnerable till a certain moment, and he knows exactly when that is. Unleashes the magic in an optimal position.
Mm-hmm.
Allows you to get some really clean
fight.
kills on those bosses, and that's essential. Essential speed strat.
Yeah, and that was another really good example of what you mentioned earlier with having the 2 fire buttons. So he was able to charge another dragon while he was doing some fadeaway dagger throws at Nebiroth there. Is that once he landed, he had a dragon primed and ready to go. One thing that's pretty important here, you can't start charging magic again until the previous magic spell is completely off screen, which is the main reason that they stand really close to Astaroth here. The fire dragon just goes off screen and doesn't loop around. So they're able to get just 2 really quick fire dragon casts off on Astaroth. And you can also kind of lock the position of Astaroth and Nebiroth by crouching.
Yeah, that knowledge alone is huge. Like, if you don't know that and you're trying to beat the game just for the first time ever, you're going to have some problems, especially if you didn't come to the boss with any armor. Well,
Yeah.
no, except for second loop. Excuse me, but still, you'd want the dragons, obviously. I got ahead of myself here, but we are in the second loop now. And now Malcolm's pulled ahead here, and he's going to be subject to the RNG of stage 1, which is... Main thing we'll be looking out for is kind of like if these coffins are going to rise in front of him. And then in loop 2, we'll have some of the environmental hazards kind of being more aggressive, notably the skull towers upcoming. Drop the skulls way more frequently and possibly even more randomly. And sometimes they'll drop 2 cycles that you can't slip in between, but Malcolm has no issue there.
Yeah, that was a really good pattern.
Yeah. But those skull towers will get you.
I guess we should maybe mention that they're playing on normal difficulty, as opposed to professional or expert or any of the others. The difficulties in this game just... I always viewed it as it just increases the randomness. The enemies are able to move faster or spawn quicker, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
And Loop 2 is essentially just playing on a higher difficulty, so some of these enemies can give some problematic patterns. Some of the zombies can run quicker. Some of the coffins will spawn quicker or rise in the air sooner than they would in Loop 1.
Just different
and then
enough
all
to
the
keep you on your
environmental things that you
toes.
mentioned.
Yeah. Bosses have a little bit more health too in Loop 2, but it's just like 1 or 2 HP.
Yeah, in general, your DPS in this game is so overwhelming that the tiny amount of boss health is pretty negligible.
So Malcolm has a clean stage 1, unlike his first loop, and Fred as well, going well here. Looks like Fred's probably a good 40 seconds behind at this point.
Yeah, that hit in stage 6 is pretty unfortunate. So the axes also count as environmental hazards, so the axes are swinging quicker
Yeah.
in Loop 2, which I think makes it pretty interesting, because you have to have different jump patterns to get through the stage. I always really liked that.
It's cool when you like kind of chase the axe with a double jump when it's ahead, or when
Yeah.
you do a double jump over the axe. Those are nice little techniques you can do there. that you have to kind of watch the axe pattern for.
And I guess we never really touched on it, but the reason that they're jumping is that it moves quicker. That's all there is to it. It's also fun, but yeah, it's the quickest way to move. It also is really helpful for just like spacing things out. You can count jumps in certain places. And they sometimes will have to rely on like crouch jumps. So when Arthur crouches, he obviously throws the weapon lower to the ground, but if you crouch and then jump, even though Arthur's sprite looks like the standard jump sprite, the weapon actually still releases lower. So in a lot of places, like when they want to jump to move quicker, but there are enemies that are going to be spawning lower, instead of having to pause or like lead a shot or something, or otherwise delay to kill an enemy, they can do a crouch jump and kill it as they move.
Yeah, nice technique. It's also the only way Arthur can cancel his attack animation, is via the forward jump, the forward crouch jump, which adds up when you're, canceling attack animations throughout the whole run.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to the previous game in the series, Ghouls and Ghosts, where you could just tap forward, and then in the original arcade, you could tap forward and then attack and get your attacks out more, which was a signature, or rather, a central technique of that game. So,
yeah, nearly unplayable without that.
Yeah, all the G&G games have attack cancel stuff, which is pretty cool. They also all have the Arthur butt sprite because Capcom likes that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the raft stage, yeah, we're kind of sidetracking here, but these players are just trying to avoid a weapon pickup. And once they have the weapon spawned, they're going to leave it behind, and that's going to cause no more weapons to spawn.
Mm-hmm.
Because the game remembers that the weapon's on screen and won't give you another one. And then on that same note, if the players were trying to get the dagger back, they would have to continuously pick up weapons, and hopefully they would get it. We didn't see that in this race.
Malcome, I think he got his dagger early, yeah. I think it was the first weapon drop in the raft.
Yep.
But yeah, sometimes it gets pretty dicey, and you see him with like the scythe with one basket to go. So we mentioned earlier that the chest drops are based on the number of chests that you spawn in the stage, and this is a really neat manipulation that they're doing. So Fred right now is going to the very right side of the screen, and he triggered chest number 5 on the right side. And then he went back and triggered chest number 6 on the left instead of spawning them in order. And that's because chest number 5, when you have steel armor, gives you a magician, which you don't want. But chest number 6 gives you bronze armor. So they spawn chest 5 and then open 6 to get the upgrade, and then go back to 5, which is an upgrade when you have bronze armor. So it's just a really elegant way of recollecting gold armor from nothing, and that's what makes the whole damage booster route possible.
Yeah. There's a couple of very convenient situations like that in the game, I think, if you really study your chest orders. But it can be kind of a lot to remember sometimes because, well, the chest order can go up to like something like 12 or 13 chests. So
yeah, and
kinda
like a lot of the times when you're just jumping as quickly as you can to get through the stage, and you're not being really mindful of what you've triggered because you're just trying to go as fast as you can.
The pincer on Malcolm's side. Ouch.
That was rough. Yeah, so this is going to be a tough recovery. I don't know that there are enough chests left in this stage for him to recollect gold armor, and that would be pretty crippling for the boss.
Yeah, he's... I mean, he probably could get gold armor back, but he's probably just going to take a death at the checkpoint, get his armor back.
Yeah, I think that would be the safest.
That's the standard way. I think it might be faster just to go through, but then you risk taking a death from a random bat hit, so that's pretty risky. So we'll see what Malcolm does.
Yeah, definitely if I were in his position, I would just scare away this Aramer and jump down the hole.
Yeah.
Because he's only spawned one chest, so he needs... Alright, he's gonna go for it. Alright, let's see what happens here. So he needs to spawn 3 more chests to actually get any armor back.
So did he skip the 4th chest then, or? Because I think isn't the 4th in underwear supposed to be armor?
Yeah.
Forget. Yeah.
Yeah, the 4th one.
And then
I
7th.
think this is his 3rd. Let's see. No. Okay.
But yeah, I think Malcolm's planning to get bronze here, at least. And yeah, if he has the bronze armor, he's very proficient at the boss kill. He'll get a 1 cycle. Ooh, Fred with a nice forward neutral jump over the bat.
Yeah, and
sometimes those bats.
Just 5 for Malcolm that he walked past. The next one will give him bronze. Fred's definitely going to be making up some ground here.
Yep. Once again, if Malcolm wins this race, he'll be the tournament winner. If Fred wins, we'll take a short 5-minute break, and then we'll do a second game for the true grand finals. As Fred is coming from the losers bracket in this tournament, and Malcolm is undefeated. Yep, there goes Malcolm. Look at that mashing. Just such precise daggers into the head there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy to fight that boss without magic. But thankfully he's abusing that fact that, again, as you said before, the dagger kind of lingers.
Ooh, no! No! Oh, not the last goblin.
That is awful.
And the fall, too, which is a huge loss. It just is. Because he goes back to the checkpoint, which is like 4 towers back.
Yeah, that is the worst possible enemy that you can get hit by. Maybe in the game. This is a really long checkpoint.
Yeah, it's brutal. He was waiting a little bit too at the end, and he thought he was in the clear.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, in Loop 2, the goblins spawn with increased frequency, and it makes it pretty tough to anticipate when they're going to spawn.
That's right. Oh, Fred takes another hit here. And he'll be trying to get bronze at this point. He's just continuing. Sometimes I think I've seen some players take a hit really early on and then just die again, but I think he should be okay to keep going. Yeah, so this is putting Malcolm in a very strong position at this point.
Yeah, Malcolm had a few convenient places to recollect gold armor in this stage, but he doesn't really need it. All that would do is serve to create lag. He's just going to be using the dagger and the Hydra, so it's not a real big deal. And he doesn't need magic in stage 5 until the boss. So he's just going to be recollecting gold armor sometime probably in the ice cave or shortly after.
Yep.
Alright, so Fred has to fight the Mongolian Deathworm's third cousin with basic dagger, which is pretty weak. I think it does 4 damage as opposed to 7 when it's upgraded. But it also doesn't have the lingering property that the upgraded dagger does, so it's pretty tough to actually hit him. He got a nice 1 cycle, though. That's really impressive.
That is good. Missing the 1 cycle, you lose something in 10, 15 seconds, so that's an important one.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Malcolm's on the ice forest.
Ooh. The forward jumps through the flowers always scare me. One pretty annoying thing with these fuzzy bears is that I think they're the only enemy in the game that actually has invincibility frames. So you can't actually mash daggers through them, because during the iframes, the dagger will just pass, like the following dagger will just pass right through them. So they have to really be patient with their dagger throws there. It's really easy to get ahead of yourself and count 5 dagger throws and then jump directly into them.
Yeah, I think the same. I think a similar thing can happen with the balloon pods in stage 1. Or for whatever reason, daggers don't go through. Oh, okay.
Scary.
Malcome makes it.
Nice, good armor kill.
Yeah, then so Malcome here. That's just some RNG there on the bear, where he's going to be on that ledge. If he's to the left, then you can do a little platform skip with a double jump. But he had an edge guarding bear there, so he had to wait, kill it, lose 3 seconds or so.
It was really good chest manipulation. That's the chest in Loop 1 where they recollected their shield. So instead, he just manipulated the chest throughout the stage to force a gold armor there. And gold armor comes with the shield that he needs anyways, so he's completely back on track.
Didn't talk too much about this boss, but yeah, he had an early claw attack from that boss, and that's just the random behavior of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can get a little nervous and miss the unleash of your magic, and then the claw nails you, and then you're in Frown Town for the next stage.
Yeah, there's positives and negatives about the claw. I mean, it locks him in place, so it's easy to line up the magic, but again, if you get nervous, then you'll just get clobbered. Malcome playing it safe here and just using 2 casts to kill the Aramers. He didn't want to risk having a boo-boo on this stage.
Those Aramers are serious business in this game when you let them loose. Their swoop is so fast in this game.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You have to bait them out so perfectly.
Yeah, they're real mean. The last one he doesn't have to kill because all of these Aramers have like a limit with how far they'll chase you. And just so happens that like it's just a few tiles further right from where that one spawns, so they can just let him go. Alright, so Malcome is moving into the final stage here. For those who are familiar with this series, you know that you have to get the special weapon in order to actually beat the game. So he's going to spawn the Goddess Bracelet right here. It's a really strong weapon, but the dagger is just so good and so reliable that they generally like to wait to collect the Goddess Bracelet until the last possible moment.
Hard to pass up the dragon magic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, daggers is so good. But yeah, you'll see these guys want to get to the Astaroth and Nebi fight with the Goddess Bracelet and gold armor, because you'll have the full range on the bracelet's attack. Which closer up with the Goddess Bracelet, the more damage you do. If you have better range, you effectively can play more damage in game. And there, Malcome just gets a very clean kill.
Yeah, really good. One of the other properties of Gold Armor Goddess Bracelet is that it can eat projectiles.
Ooh.
The damage boost is okay, lets him get close for a few hits.
And okay. Malcome knows what he's doing. Oh,
yep,
oh
really
okay.
good. Oh, that surprise posthumous laser beam.
That last one. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, really good fight. You only have to die to that posthumous laser a few times to learn your lesson.
Malcome's about to put up a really solid time here.
Yeah, very good.
Got Sardius with so many different combinations of those lasers and platform timings. It's actually pretty important for optimizing this run. He gets a 2-cycle. That's
2 cycles the best you can hope for.
And we have our winner in SDNG Any Percent 2019 tournament with Malcome versus Fred.
Yeah, congratulations, Malcome. 34-23 is a really nice time. It's a really good recovery from his Loop 1 fiasco.
Yeah, that was making me worried a little bit there, like he was nervous or something. Maybe he was. Everyone gets nervous in these type of situations, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, even if you've beaten the game thousands of times. Yeah, so Malcolm's been running this for, geez, I don't know, 5 years straight, like nearly every day. He's by far the most experienced player in the world. It definitely shows.
Yeah, he has it down like really consistent, which is great to see a game like this consistent. Because it is, you know, the name of the game is a lot of the time the randomness and executing certain things only get you small time saves. Fred there takes a hit from the dying bird thing. Hitbox is still active there.
Yeah, I've been hit by that many times myself. You'd never learn the lesson on that one.
He was probably just, yeah, I don't know. You're right. You're probably right about that. Ooh, he takes another hit. Yeah, this is a rough situation.
Yeah, this is gonna be problematic.
Yeah, so in this situation, yeah, you have Arthur's Goddess Bracelet just not going hardly any range at all, and it's just when you're at a range, this thing's doing hardly any damage. The very tip of the bracelet hitting is just nothing.
Yeah.
In comparison to the point blank. I think it was something like 60 something tiny hits, like the least hits to actually kill him with that. It's just, it goes on forever, so it's so important to get close. There he goes, he gets some nice hits. That's nice.
Yeah, I believe the Goddess Bracelet does the same damage, regardless of gold, silver, or bronze armor, but it just deteriorates so much quicker when you don't have gold or bronze. I think it starts at 18 damage and it diminishes by 3 damage down to, again, the little piddly sparks at the end that just do 3, which is the weakest attack in the game.
Yeah.
But as long as he's patient, he should have this. Nebiroth is a really safe fight, as long as you respect his attacks.
Yeah, you have some kind of random movement from both of those bosses, and kind of got to respect that, especially if they get close to the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, see if Fred can see what kind of RNG he gets here. This looks good for pattern 1.
Nice. Yeah, Sardius, the delay between when he spawns the platforms and when he fires lasers is random, and the direction that he fires the lasers, clockwise versus counterclockwise, is also random. So it takes a lot of practice to get good at this fight.
I've seen some players use a pause buffer strat just to see like which direction and then react accordingly. Kind of smart.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. He got 2 super delayed patterns from Sardius, which I've always found most difficult. I like the early patterns. But finished him off, no problem.
All right. Using Nikose timing here, which is the start of the game. Press start onto Princess Landing, and Fred finishes with a 38-15.
Very nice.
Not bad either. GG's.
Yeah, great run, guys. This was a really interesting race. There's a lot of improvisation on both ends.
Yeah. And one of the most scary things to me is doing that goblin tower without any armor or in steel armor, because those goblins take then 2 daggers, and just like waiting for them, and then if you like get nervous, then you get hit, and then you die, and then like sometimes you can just keep dying there over and over in a race, and just it just gets, these races can get we've seen some ugly ones in this tournament.
Yeah, the tower is really scary.
Sometimes things just keep getting you, and recovering can be rough, but yeah, very nice. Hey, welcome in, Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Yo, PJ. It's a pretty good race overall, I guess, but man, getting hit on the tower is kind of stinks, man.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Oof.
It's a really unfortunate spawn.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna play it safe, I'm gonna stand here and wait for the last one. Like, let's go.
I saw you doing that, yeah.
Yep.
And then it's like you get hit anyway. It's such a bad feeling.
Yeah. got me good.
It's so rough because at that point the goblins are falling from that same line up there, but the tower is going down. So the goblins at the very end are falling the fastest that they bailed up that velocity.
Yeah.
And it just it's like a goblin meteor pretty much at the end.
You know what? I would expect no less from this game, dude. I love it.
There had to be something brutal like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that was missing there was a damage boost from that goblin onto a surprise weapon as you fall off the tower.
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, I'd say the run went pretty well. I didn't get any other weapons or something like that, so pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it was a good run. There was the one armor that escaped in stage 6, loop 1.
Oh, yeah.
But you recovered really well from that.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, quite often, like, it's a 50-50, you know, like, you can push both of them. I was like, yeah, let's just take the risk, go for it. Should probably use the magic, but, you know, gotta put on some flair, you know.
You're gonna need something like that to beat Malcolm, is basically what it is. Like, you just gotta get some of that stuff in there. Because Malcolm is gonna be going for a lot of it.
You know, if I had gotten that, even though I wasn't on mic, I would be like, take that, Malcolm!
Yeah, he did go for the push strat in loop 1, but in loop 2 he opted to just use magic twice.
Mm.
And then we had seen Malcolm notably take 2 hits in the first stage of loop 1.
Oh,
so
2 hits even.
That's when I was a little bit nervous for him.
Yeah.
And stages went on and eventually got up.
Yeah, 2-1 is a really tough stage, I think.
Yeah, they throw you right into the mix in that first stage.
Yeah, I always thought loop 2 stage 1 was the hardest stage to play.
Yeah, there's like partially like you feel like you can do whatever since it's like the first stage of the game, so you can easily like fall back on loop 1 your like playstyle of the beginning of the game, but it's like halfway through the game and it's extra difficult, so
yeah.
I hate getting hit like at the very beginning of loop 2 against those first spawns of the zombies. It's just so terrible.
when you run this first pillar, take the double jump over and land on a zombie.
Yeah.
So bad. Yeah, so as for the final standings, yeah, so we had Malcolm take the tournament, Fred was second, and then we had Dagron in third, and Sam in fourth.
Yeah, Sam would be fourth, I think, yeah.
Well,
and Taleo would be fifth. I guess I don't know how the standings shake out there.
Yeah, the challenge standings, say Hanage and Telio are tied for fifth.
All right.
And then, I think Dagron, it ranked Dagron third, and then Sam fourth. But they both had similar wins and they both had 2 wins, 2 losses. But in any case, it was a fun tournament. Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah, like big shoutouts to Malcolm for putting on this event. I guess the idea started with Emphasis wanting to do a tournament, but Malcolm just took the ball and went with it. And like the community, like the Super Ghouls community, have gotten so much better during the course of the tournament. There's been so many new times on the leaderboard, so it's great.
Yeah, it's been great to see the activity. I mean, back when I ran this, it was just like one active runner trading off.
Yeah.
That runner would quit and another runner would pick it up. So to see so many people actively running this and to see the standards of the runs get so much better over the years has been really great.
Yeah, it's really exciting actually, because like you said, even when I started playing the game, there weren't that many people playing the game. So I've pretty much watched Malcolm play the game like daily, learned the game, and then like tried to teach the West, I guess, the other Western players how to play the game. So, good stuff.
Yeah, with Super Ghouls and Ghosts, it's definitely the game in the series that pretty much everyone knows this one. the most, and it shows in the activity of the speedrun as well. There's been people coming in and taking on the game, and you know, it's always fun to see people try to beat the game for the first time, and hopefully we inspired this tournament will inspire some people to have at the game and take it down, because these guys they're taking it down under an hour every time. It's always good.
So I think speaking
games.
of the Ghouls series, I guess the next like big Ghouls event would be in November. I'm not quite sure on the date, but we'll be doing another series marathon run. And I'm not sure. I think Malcolm wanted to make it Europe versus America versus Japan, but I'm not sure on the logistics of that. So we'll see. But some marathon in November in some shape or form. So look forward to that.
Cool. Yeah.
Thank you for your playing.
Thanks, Professor F.
And thank you, 10-minute ending.
Yeah. Covering our
Do
talking
you-
with some background.
Let me think. I think the credits actually played out fully for you. Do you remap your controls, Fred?
No, I do not.
You use B jump still?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
One thing I always
like
like,
default.
if you remap to A jump, then the credits die halfway through,
Yeah.
and like the rest of the credits will play, but there's no music because Arthur's death interrupted it. So you just have to watch like the last 5 minutes in silence.
I am
love
amazed
that.
though that the game managed to like keep it together and play the entire credits after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It'd be
pretty-
it'd be a shame if it crashed or something.
Like if you die in I don't remember what you have to do to kill yourself in the demo, but like you remap the controls and then Arthur does something in the demo and kills himself because he doesn't know how to jump. And then the demo locks up and you have to wait for the demo to time out. Like the timer has to expire and kill Arthur. And then it'll pick back up.
What a game.
Pretty great. But,
yeah, obviously
thank you
not
for playing.
play tested there. But I think that is gonna wrap it up for us.
Yep, I think so.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This was fun. Really enjoyed watching this.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on and casting, PJ.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for playing.
Thanks.
Congratulations. It was a fun race. Definitely
thanks,
should be
man.
happy with your performance this tournament.
Yeah, it's been going pretty well, so I'm happy with it. So been good.
Yeah. I think you hit like something like 3 or 4 35s in this tournament.
Yeah, I got a PB, no big deal. PB during some race. Sam got like two race PBs, so no big deal.
That's always nice. Well, till next time, everyone. It's been a pleasure, and there will be more G&G in the future. So good luck.
See ya.
Yeah, thanks for watching.